get to that when we get to it. So, the next topic that I wanted to touch on was PlayStation Now finally putting some PS4 titles within that collection, and how that changes the way that PC gamers have a hand in all of this. So, for the longest time, a lot of PS4 titles, you could only play them on PS4. So, games like Resogun, Killzone, Shadowfall, Ultra Street Fighter 4, things like that. You can only play those on a PS4. And, which is fine. Every console has the right to their exclusives, which is something we will talk about later.
Yes, yes we will. This will be a good one.
But when PC comes into the mix, it always makes things really interesting, in my opinion, specifically when you don't have to own one system to play it on the other.
Definitely.
So with the PlayStation Now service, you can pay $20 a month, so a little bit more of a premium, but think about it this way. If you're a gamer who really only has $20 to spend a month, you're getting access to a library of over 500 games that include PS2, PS1 classics, PS3, and now PS4 titles. And if you are a PC gamer who wants to just kind of expand your reach of library, this subscription now allows you to play PS4 games on your PC. So some of the ones that I mentioned earlier, like Killzone, Shadowfall, Resogun, those are some of the exclusives. The part where this gets murky and why it's not necessarily a PC benefit is a lot of the titles they're bringing to PC already exist on PC. So you've got things in the Steam store, EA Access, or EA Origins, I mean. So it's one of those things where it is valuable, but I don't think this is enough to make me do it. And though I've tested and I've played some of the PlayStation Now to get an idea of how latency worked, how the system worked, and even Seth did, and he had some feedback for it. The pricing was off because they used to make you pay for how much you played the game.
Oh man,
and that was never going to work. That was
I'll tell you the number one reason why that I'll say pissed me off when Sony did that was some of the games, the prices were so just
you could just buy it for less. There's a point where you're like, I can try it for this much, or I can just buy it and not like it.
I can rent it for 30 days for $45,
or I could just buy it for $50 and just be like, whatever. So I think a lot of people have that conversation with themselves and are just like, I don't want to do this. And so I'm glad that Sony took the feedback, repriced it, and is adding value to it. I think it's just back to that internet bandwidth conversation, because this game is not saved locally on your PC or your PS4 when you're using it. It is completely and all streamed. So it's one of those things that is a lot of traffic going in through your bandwidth. That's gonna, if you have data caps, if you're like me, you've got hit by Comcast. They're like, you do too much, darn it.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, I get the email you're close to your cap every month, and it's all the gaming, it's all the video content, the streaming, and things like that. So if you're a creator and then you're using a service like this, you're getting pushed over the cap all the time.
Yeah, definitely. So I can totally attest to that. So. As you know, with my situation, my fiance and I were trying to save up to buy a house. We're with my parents at the moment. But my dad has AT&T internet. So one thing we were talking about is he kept telling me he'd get emails saying, you're over your data cap, we're going to charge you $15. But they would never charge him $15. But the biggest problem is we keep getting hit with that. And when they hit you with that data cap, they throttle your bandwidth. Yeah. So if you're paying for 45 megabytes, you're really getting 3 now. And with me, that wasn't acceptable for me, especially because when you're paying for internet, you should have complete access. There's no such thing as there's not enough bandwidth for them to be able to push.
Right.
If that's the case,
it's just they don't want to give it to you. Or more or less, they don't want to pay the money to recreate the infrastructure where they're able to give everybody what they pay for 100% of the time. The technology exists out there. It's whether the companies will ever have the motivation, we should say, whether that be politically or not, to finally push forward these plans. I mean, they're billion-dollar infrastructure changes, to get fiber throughout the world, but we have this technology, and basically it's just this game of how long can we charge this much money for this before people start complaining that they want more. Right. And when we hit that tipping point, then it's going to be like a switch got flipped. But and it's going to be annoying because we're going to be like, why did we pay for this crap for this long,
it's one of those things to where unless you have someone like Huawei to where you can get 100 megabyte or 100 meg or even a gigabyte for $100 a month with no data caps, it's really going to hurt you a lot, especially in the wallet. on top of what you're paying for PlayStation Now, if you don't have the bandwidth or you have the data cap, so you're paying the extra money for those extra, to go past that point that the threshold you hit.
Yeah, and I know, outside of that conversation, when we're comparing this service to what's the Xbox service again? It's
Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah, so the Xbox Game Pass still suffers from the same concept of the data cap, but what's great about that, though, is you can just download the game.
Yeah, I do like that.
So you're not constantly streaming it. You know exactly how much data you're going to take to get that game downloaded, so you can plan around that a little bit more, or you can go somewhere, download it on their Wi-Fi, and leave.
It's good because you're not beholden to the infrastructure of PlayStation Now,
right?
Like with the Xbox Game Pass. So like you can download it onto your console, and until that game comes out of the vault, you can completely access it. And then I believe that when the time comes to where you get beyond that time frame, it would just give you a pop-up saying like this game's no longer in Game Pass, like
right,
or you don't own this content, like.
But because you have this, I think you get 20% off the price of the game.
Yeah,
so it's like
if you download it, you get 20% off or whatnot.
Yeah, so you get an opportunity to get it for a lower price, and you're also being able to kind of benefit from being able to download that. Now, I will be the first to say, the Xbox Game Pass library, not 500 games deep like Sony's is.
Not yet. Yeah.
In comparison, I think that's fair for as long as the franchise has existed. I mean, all those PlayStation 1 titles, they supersede Xbox.
Definitely.
But I'm not going to compare old titles that nobody's probably going to take a look at anyways in this instance. I'm not to trash the oldies, but
I don't think you're getting PlayStation Now so that you can play Road Rash or Twisted Metal from the PlayStation.
Maybe Twisted Metal.
Maybe you would, but it's not ideal for most people to spend the $20 a month for that game in particular.
Yeah.
You'd want to do it for more like the heavy hitters that you get, like God of War, Last of Us. You can play on PS4 too.
Yeah, but it's like God of War 3 Remastered. That's one of the PS4 titles that I would enjoy playing on my PC.
Yeah, that'd be cool, especially because your PC can handle it too.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing is you're just going to be beholden to that data, like how fast it plays, the latency you get from the server,
how good your router is, and if you're doing it wirelessly.
I can say I got to try PlayStation Now before, back when they did the trials for it.
Yeah,
and I mean, it's probably come a long way since then. But I tried.
It wasn't
Dead
the
Island.
worst.
It wasn't the worst, but
you could feel it.
You could feel, like it just you'd feel like everything's off by like a split second. So like you'd turn and it's like bam, it would turn with you, and you just knew if you were playing a shooter like online with people, you wouldn't last a second.
Right,
like, You'd be smoked before you even knew the bullet hit.
And I wouldn't even try to play a shooter in those instances, but that's where the benefit of being able to kind of save offline is at. And I wish that PlayStation Now supported such a feature. So it's one of those things.
Enough feedback, Sony might think that, hey, this might be a better idea, like to entice our customers to do it. I mean, we can see that Sony learned a lot of their mistakes from the PlayStation 3. And they got it right with the PlayStation 4, and like you said earlier, like Microsoft did the flip-flop. They're going through the PS3 phase right now, to where they're finally starting to get things together. They're kind of like getting a grip of, hey, this is where we want to take the Xbox family. Sony's like, look, we know what we made the mistakes of the PS3.
This is the off year.
This is the off year, so everything's working out this time for us, which is cool. And just because like I don't want us to be sounding like we're like complete like Microsoft fanboys. We hate Sony here.
I mean,
we love Sony.
I promise, guys, I like PlayStation 4.
That's definitely like one of the best games ever.
Yeah,
but outside of that, that being said,
I know I could get you going for an hour.
You can
on
get
that
me
alone.
going about Persona, but we'll save that for another time.
And I mean, like I was having this conversation with somebody on Facebook though. Like I had reposted this article, just kind of shared this news with my friends, and I do think it was very clickbaity. Like I think it was The Verge who posted it. It was like, you can play PS4 games on PC, and it's like, oh, can I now? And it was the most clickbait, because it's like barely any PS4 exclusives. The games that already exist on your, like, you're just like, who are you tricking here?
Get you pulled
in. It's enough for you to be like, what?
Yeah, like, oh man.
Because I mean, in PS4, theory, like if you own a PS4 already, you can wirelessly stream your games to your PC.
Oh yeah.
And you can do that with Xbox. That is something you can do on both sides.
I will tell you, I actually tried that the other day because I completely forgot that was a thing. So I was on my computer. I think I just got done playing Overwatch, and Christian, she was playing Diablo.
Right.
And I was like, I wonder if I could just jump on from here, because I had my PS4 controller on the table next to me. So I plugged it up, loaded it up, and bam, it put me right in there.
Into her game?
So
you guys were both playing?
Because we're on the same, because it was remote playing to the same console.
Oh, same console.
It's the same console. So
you were able to join in, but watch on the PC while she sat somewhere else?
I could play from the PC, but the only thing is that because it's going to be like the same type of thing with PlayStation Now, is that you are beholden to
your connection.
And
your
if
bandwidth. That's not a direct plug-in on those.
I would look. So the video quality was just okay. I mean, I'm hardwired too, so I get 45 megs like directly.
Is the PS4 hardwired?
It's not right now. So that's probably why. But the quality's not bad. It's probably close to like a 720 video quality. You know, it's nothing crazy, but there was still a little bit of latency. But if they were both hardwired, it probably would have been a better experience. But the concept that you can do that, just remote play directly to your computer, I mean, that's stuff that people have been talking about for years, where we finally have the technology to do it. So it's cool.
Well, there's this guy named Matt. He's one of the main contributors on Rebel FM, and he always tells stories about how he uses his Steam U-Link or his NVIDIA Shield and stuff to do these like crazy tests, streaming his like work PC that's at his office to his home to play like World of Warcraft or something like that. And he's like, there's latency, yes, but like it's kind of crazy sick how you can do it and only have to deal with a little bit of lag. And I do think it's something commendable that it's like, hey, I mean, Sony's acquisition of this company, I think it was Gaikai, to get this online infrastructure and do this, at first didn't seem like something I was going to support. And I didn't necessarily deem PlayStation Now as an initial failed launch. I did not think it had the popularity or any of the mindshare, and I don't necessarily think it does now, but I think this is a step in the right direction for Sony. It's
definitely a good step in the right direction.
They got to work on cost, though.
I think
you
a lot of
ask somebody to spend $20 a month for that.
I think a lot of it, though, they see that it's very successful with Microsoft right now. So they're trying to find a way to get back out there and make it competitive, which makes complete sense, because like that's the last place you want to fail in, is that like you can tell, and you've seen it. I mean, we go on like Kotaku, IGN, GameSpot. You see all the big name companies for gaming, and you see it all the time. Like, when are we going to get backwards compatibility to access this directly into my console rather than using PlayStation Now? So I think Sony's trying to find a way to be able to hit that medium without completely like building an emulator like Microsoft had to. Just because I think with Sony, they know they don't have to. Like right now, like they're
Microsoft's a software company too, so
true.
It's like
it's a much bigger...
Sony is the hardware company. They made the better console. Like, fine, you guys win. You have the better, more powerful console until the Xbox One X. But it's just like Sony or Microsoft is they're flexing that software side. They're taking that feedback from their audience. They're implementing these new features all the time. And they've created an emulator that is straight just desired for fan service and still makes them money when people go and... I mean, like, you look at the 360 library, you go, oh, I can play that game on my Xbox One, and it's $2. Like, they're still making money on games that are 10 years old.
It's awesome.
Why would you not? I don't know. I love and respect the decisions they're making. It's exact. I think that, the playbooks have been flipped. What Sony did last generation to finally come out and technically win at the very end is they buckled down. They took a look at what their fans were asking for and saying they needed, and they made amazing games like The Last of Us, like Uncharted 3. Like, they started just pumping
4,
them out.
Well, Horizon Zero Dawn.
But I'm speaking like at the end of that PS3 era, that tail where these amazing games were coming out and getting people to, at the late end cycle, start buying PS3s like they were going out of style.
I did it. I did it just before, it was about maybe... about 8 months or so before like the PS4 came out. I had my 360 for forever, and I was like, you know what, like I
want to play something else.
Yeah, because the way I looked at it with myself was, I'm not going to play my 360 anymore. I'll just trade it in towards my Xbox One. But I'm like, but in the meantime, I want a console to play, so I'll just pick up a PS3. And I think it was on sale like $250, and you got like a whole year of PlayStation Plus with it too,
which is good benefit for when you roll into your PS4.
Definitely. So. So when I picked that up, that's what I did. I picked up Uncharted. I picked up God of War. I'm playing all these games that I didn't get to play during my 360 era, because I had the 360 since it came out. I never touched any other console. I didn't need one too. And also, that time frame, I'm in high school, so of course, like in my freshman year, I'm not working, so I can't just be like, hey mom, dad, go buy me these consoles. I got my 360 as a birthday gift, and I didn't buy the slim model till I was till like 2010 when I was working at Best Buy and stuff too. So
I think another thing to kind of just like make mention of is that these aren't the only two players in this space, too. We have, like, EA Access. That's a huge part of this, too. And what is that? Is that $30 a year?
It's $29 per year, and you get complete, well, I don't want to say complete access to all EA titles, but they're constantly updating their vault.
They're putting Battlefield 1 and Titanfall 2 in there. That's two games that were, like, $60 not long ago.
And then now you can
play
them
for $30.
And you can play them all the time.
And then you still have the option to buy at discount. And that is an Xbox exclusive partnership with EA.
It's awesome, too.
So it's
very
like,
cool.
Games as a service is a different conversation than subscriptions to play games. Yeah. And I think that's important to note here. We're not talking about World of Warcraft payment, monthly subscriptions or MMOs or Destiny.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, games as
it's kind of considered games. Yeah, it's considered games as a service.
I feel like in my mind, I consider games as a service as something that you continually pay money for if you don't have to.
If you think about it, like with Destiny, you look at how you bought the original season pass, which was for the Dark Below and House of Wolves. Of course, very lackluster. Everyone knows it was a very, very dry time for Destiny.
Like, would you like to do the same
thing
then
you
again?
get the Taken King, which came out in 2015? 2015. Yeah, 2015. And then we got Rise of Iron in 2016, and both those expansions were $30. So like that'd be considered like games as a service, to where you're not buying a whole nother game, but you're paying for content that's going to continually be updated within it.
That's
which
fair.
is what I believe that
I still am in the expansion pack mentality with that, though.
Well. No, I know what you mean. It's kind of like expansion pack mentality, but you see that EA is touting games as a service.
Right.
And it's funny because we said we wouldn't talk about this, but now we're doing it.
I mean, we're good on time.
Yeah, we're good on time at the moment. But like with games as a service, like look at, for example, Battlefront 2. EA was like, you know what? Like, we know that we really messed up. We alienated the entire player base by making the way that people have to buy the season pass for an exorbitant amount of price for very little content.
Without, and honestly. Not to derail this too much. I'm okay paying the price. You have to freaking tell me what I'm paying
exactly.
for. Exactly.
You can't just
say $50 for the season pass.
And then we'll announce it later on down the road.
It's just
Yeah, right? Like, you feel like someone just kicked you in the balls.
You're just like, why? But you're like, I love the concept of this game. And
and you want to support it, too, because it's, especially with Star Wars being a franchise that a lot of people love, like myself included as well. You want to hope for the best for it, and that's why we put our money into it, and sometimes we get burned by it.
Yeah.
But it's nice to see, especially in that sense, EA learned their lesson, and they're like, hey, you know what? Like, we know we messed up here, so here's what we're going to do. All DLC for Battlefront will be free. And then what they're doing is that it's going to be more microtransactions for, like, the cosmetic or, like, the battle packs which you get.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I'm cool with that, too, because with me, I'm not going to spend a dime on it, because I'm just going to reap in the rewards that, thankfully, EA did the right thing. We're getting content for free. We're getting a very rich Star Wars game, at least in theory. From what we're hearing,
right. I mean, it looks beautiful.
All the eras. There's going to be space battles again.
You can't talk about it, right?
Are
you under NDA on gameplay or all of it?
I will just say I was invited for the closed alpha for Battlefront 2, so I got to play it on my PC. And I'm under NDA, so I can't share like content of what I played. Okay. But I will definitely say it is a step up from the first Battlefront.
Okay. And we will keep you out of all legal trouble.
Yeah, we'll keep me out of legal trouble for that. It was definitely really cool. The one thing, though, it was really nice, and it's really cool to see this, because I don't see, like, when you see NDAs and stuff, like, people leak gameplay. EA got it right this time. They decided, hey, you know what? If you guys are going to sign an NDA, we're just going to watermark your gamer tag into the screen. So I'm playing, and randomly, I just see my gamer tag going around the screen. So, but it's cool, because...
I mean, it makes sense.
I mean, that way, if I was to be a jackass and go, I'm going to leak some stuff, even though I signed this non-disclosure agreement, and then it's like, oh, but... there's your gameplay, and hey, there's your gamer tag. We see you. Right,
and I'll be the first to say that I've recorded NDA game footage all the time. I've not posted it. I've basically shared a private link to show my friends, but because it's easier that way, specifically with long distance, but never made those links public. I guess the risk or factor in this scenario you bring up is if somebody chooses to unwisely then take that video down and then post it somewhere else, you've made yourself very liable because of that.
Yeah.
So
you can get into a lot of legal trouble with it. I mean, like, these companies do not play around when it comes to NDAs. They are dead serious.
Sorry to distract you there. But yeah, I agree. In this entire conversation, kind of getting into the DLC side of things, while we're talking about games as a service, we're talking about the best way to play the most games, these subscription services that exist. How did games like Halo 5 or Titanfall 2, the games that are saying our DLC is free, how how are we fitting all this in? Like, because I think it's not so much a matter of fighting to see what game is better, but more or less what game or where do people have time, right? Because you get those people who play their, 2 or 3 games, like me. Like, I'm Overwatch, Diablo, Halo, anything that ends with an O after Overwatch, basically.
Yeah, right.
but it's just like Counter-Strike, Overwatch, Halo, Diablo. Those have been like my 4 go-tos again and again and again and again. And even though I take time and play other games, when I don't feel like starting a new experience, those are the 4. Those are my 4 main guys.
Yeah.
And maybe some Call of Duty and stuff sprinkled in there when I'm not playing those experiences. So it's just, and those games constantly get updated too. Overwatch, all their updates are free. Halo's updates are free. Titanfall 2's updates are free. Call of Duty, ton of expansions and season passes tacked onto that. Yeah. I mean, you basically spend $300 if you want everything from every Call of Duty game.
I'll be real with you. I have not bought a Call of Duty season pass since... I didn't even buy one for Advanced
I've not
Warfare.
had to. This is the first year I'm going to have to
I just
again.
don't, because it's like, I'll play multiplayer, because you can get into so many matches without even having to play new DLC. Like, I don't need to pay $15 for new maps, because I don't really care about that.
Or I feel so disconnected. Like, they sorry to interrupt. They just do these new maps, and I'm like, I just don't care about these maps. Like, why do I want to play on this map? And I have not been so invested in a competitive scene whatsoever with Call of Duty in a way where it's like, I want to play the new maps to get good at the new maps to play the new maps. And often new maps aren't even put in a competitive play rotation because they're post the season starting, so you can't introduce a new map for fairness. So where does that line up? It's one of those things. Like, I guess it really comes down to the gamer. If you know your tried and trues, you're going to play those, and this is going to go over your head. You're just not going to care about this. Or maybe you do, maybe it piques your interest.
No, you're absolutely right. Like, the tried and trues, people are going to play it. Like, we all knew, and we all joked about it, that Activision and Call of Duty, they were going to release Infinite Warfare with the Modern Warfare remastered.
I didn't even...
And listen, and I told everybody...
I told everybody they were going to do it like 6 months later. It was a little bit so close. It was a little bit longer.
But I told a lot of people, I'm like, look, this is stupid. Like, why pay that much money for 2 games when you know they're going to have to, because it's a way to make extra money.
And the funniest thing too is you can find the combo for like $20 or $30 because it's not selling because nobody wants to play Infinite Warfare.
Exactly.
Cheaper than you can buy the standalone Modern Warfare remastered.
And I think it's $39. So you can pay $40 and you get to have the remastered version, which is what everyone wanted to play to begin with.
Right. And I will say too, as somebody who had the privilege of getting that game for free, the campaign for Infinite Warfare was not bad. Good. It was good.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it.
I played it too, but it was really good.
I even, God forbid, I enjoyed boots off the ground multiplayer. Somebody kill me now. I liked the new Call of Duty, but I spent most of my time, reliving my high school competitive Call of Duty battle, game battle days. Like, that was nostalgic to the max there, and I enjoyed it thoroughly. So it's like one of those things. I enjoyed that purchase, but I also didn't pay for it. Like, I was at the time working at GameStop. I got the digital biggest edition you could for both systems, and it was just like, well,
yeah, man.
Who cares,
Yeah, I mean, if you get it,
am I going to do that this year? Heck no. Yeah. I'm not spending $120 on this game.
I won't lie. Like, I'm really intrigued by Call of Duty World War II. Yeah. I'm a huge... Okay, so you don't know this about me, Kyle, but I'm a huge history nerd. Like, I freaking love history.
Hey, Dan, you don't know this about me? I didn't watch cartoons. I watched Modern Marvels as a kid. But, History Channel 24/7, baby!
But I love just, like, historical accuracy and of course you can watch movies like Saving Private Ryan, which paint a very vivid picture of what war is like.
Pretty accurate.
But it's just like, it's one of the things where when you get to step into the controller, you get to play it. Of course, you don't feel like, oh, I'm a soldier, like this is what I'm doing. But when you get to look around and you get to see the carnage of war, of course, being simulated in front of you in a game, but just being able to see the locales and you get to like experience the atmosphere. That's why we play these type of games. It's because it's telling a story, and you kind of get a feel of what's going on. Like, let's take Spec Ops: The Line, for example.
Such a slept-on game. Such a slept-on game,
it's such an underrated game. But it was one of those games, too, where, like, sure, it was a shooter, but it really made you think to deal with some really tough moral choices. Yeah. And no matter what decision you made in the game, you didn't feel good about it.
Yeah, and it wasn't afraid to slow down the pace of a first-person or a third-person shooter.
Yeah, but it was a really solid game.
Yeah. lost track of where we are.
It's all good. We were talking about PlayStation View with the games.
Well, but it was just like getting in. But like you were saying, they're the tried and truers. They're the people who are trying to stay consistent with the games that they love, and they're always going to play those. You know, they're Madden people, you're 2Ks guys. You know,
there's people I know who, because I mean, I play NHL, like the NHL series sometimes, and I got 17, and I'm still on the fence. I want to buy 18 because I just feel like
didn't they take things out of 17?
No, 17 they put everything
was
back.
it 16?
It was 15 where they took out like
the first one, first one on the new gen.
People lost it. And I completely understand because eShul is one of the most fun modes to play.
Yeah.
But the problem that I keep having with it is that they keep like making improvements. I say it with quotes because it's not a huge improvement in the game. They're like, yeah, we fixed the goalies, the way the goalies move. Cool. But what else have you done to overall improve the game? It's not running on Frostbite 3, and all their other sports games are. Mm-hmm. Why is NHL being held back from Frostbite when it can make the game probably that much better?
That's fair. And I always get so conflicted with sports games, though. It's because it's like we expect them to change so much, and we give them 365 days to do it. When all the other games out there get
so much more time,
4 years,
3
to
or 4
perfect
or 5 year
and
cycles.
make that. You know, like Call of Duty is not the game that needs 3 studios rotating out. The sports games are.
They do.
You know, it's like
they
because
definitely
those
they need
games,
more love.
Or those games are the prime example of games that should turn into games of service, where it is no longer a yearly updates. It is yearly expansions. You buy the feature, like basically the roster updates.
The 18-19 season for NHL, like purchase. Yeah, you know, that makes way more sense because, like, with me, I feel slighted when I'm like, okay, I bought 17. I got to spend $60 again.
Every year.
On a game that...
And if you don't trade in that game, in time, it goes from being worth like $20, $30 to be worth $5 in a day.
It is so brutal.
In a day.
It's brutal, yeah. It's definitely brutal. It's just like with me, it's just so frustrating because like you see, okay, I'm not gonna go on a tangent, but I'm just gonna rant just a little bit.
Okay.
It frustrates me because EA has the exclusive rights to NHL right now, and we all know
Madden.
But I'm mad because the 2K hockey games were sweet back in the day.
Right.
And the problem is that with EA, because since they own the rights to it for now, I don't know how long it goes for, but you know they have that tied up. There's nothing to push them to innovate. Like you look at the 2K games, and let's be real here. You can put an NBA 2K game next to like NHL, and you look at the players, you're like, wow, like that looks like that player. Like everyone on the team looks like the team. You go play NHL, and me being a Red Wings fan, Justin Applicator looks like a freaking troll. He doesn't even look like himself.
But would you argue that's competition though, or just 2K really perfecting the basketball formula?
Well, not even just that, but like because 2K like they nail it there, but they nail it with all the other aspects. I mean, everyone who talks about 2K is like 2K is the best game series out there.
2K is live.
Yeah, I mean, everyone talks about it. They talk about how like all the new game modes they put in there, like how solid the gameplay is, and you know, I don't hear people complain about like NBA 2K as much as I hear about NHL. Yeah. Go on to an EA Sports NHL like Facebook post and just watch the hate just spew out of there. It's just tons of stuff like update the freaking game, fix like the ice tilt, even though they say it's not there, it is there. There's ice tilt in that game, like straight up. You can go to where you outshoot an entire team like 50 shots to 2, and they'll bury those 2 shots on those 2 goals, or those 2 goals on those 2 shots. And it's frustrating, but it's awful. It's just like you kind of wish they had a little more time to be able to make it so much better than what it is. Like, don't release it every single. I get it; they want to do it every year because every season you get new roster updates. But like you said, then release one version, release it on Frostbite, and then just do yearly updates with it. Yeah, it'd be much better that way because that way you can just download more content rather than paying so much money. Or I'll pay $10 for an expansion for the 18-19 season.
I just want things to work like mobile operating systems more, where it's just like we just keep building off the next fundamental.
And a lot of it too, I feel, is we get spoiled from companies like Blizzard with Overwatch,
right?
And,
where it's just constantly
Halo,
being
where
updated.
they give you free content, and it's good content too. It's actually like really good stuff.
Stuff
and
you want to do, stuff you want to get.
Yeah.
Whereas like right now in Counter-Strike, this game, this could be a KHAOS topic alone on itself, but I'm gonna just go mini on it. This game, Counter-Strike, Valve, Gabe Newell. Like trying to keep it friendly here. like how the amount of money that they continued to rack in on skins, microtransactions.
Oh man, they got to be killing it. You know,
the gambling game, all of it, just all of it, all that money they make on that platform, and you still want to nickel and dime me $6 in Counter-Strike to have the opportunity to play the game more, just to get XP challenges to maybe unlock more cases that I still have to pay money to open. Oh, aneurysm inbound. I swear, dude.
I know, no,
so
dude.
Just, and yet, Overwatch and all these other companies can give it to you for free.
They're doing it right.
Can respect you as a fan of that game, as a fan of that community, and then there's the companies who don't. And it really, those are the decisions, those are the things that do grind me down enough to be like, I just won't play this game. I won't do this, or I'm not going to give you any more of this money. I used to really enjoy the skins market, playing around with that, even as cancerous as it is in Counter-Strike, to put my money into virtual skin currency.
No, I'm sorry.
Is Ashley watching? No.
Oh God, no.
Anyway, but it's just like, it's that frustrating thing of like, I played that game. I'm stupid enough to give you all this money, and then now you're charging me for $6 content updates that are not worth $6. Dude. They're not worth any of my dollars. They should be something you should support in your game for free no matter what. Yeah. And start fixing the... that's a KHAOS Counter-Strike only episode right there.
Yeah. Okay, here's what I'll do is that when we get paid next week, I will buy it so that way I can join in on the rage.
Yeah, because you'll get
it. I paid $30. What was it, like $20 for a CSGO now? I paid $20 and I had to pay $6 for some skin.
Well, we'll get it for you on a Steam sale when all the hackers and cheaters come back because now they bought a new account.
Oh my God, yeah.
So I think that pretty much lays to bed the conversation, though, of like how we feel in a majority sense about PlayStation Now, Xbox, Game Pass, EA Access, and then other games that very much give you enough content to update that where you wouldn't think about those services in the first place.
I'm just curious because EA has EA Access and they have Origin Access, so I'm wondering if they're pushing Battlefield 1 and Titanfall 2 to Origin Access. Origin is $25.
Do they not reflect the same way?
I don't know, just because like I don't use Origin too much because I don't really play EA games.
Everybody needs their own game store on PC.
Well, I don't really care about that.
I do because
it does kind of break the continuity between like using
the
Steam
Xbox One
and
stuff. Like if it's Play Anywhere, it breaks that continuity.
That's true.
And so it's
Microsoft,
it doesn't benefit.
They're getting it right. They're doing it right, but I think the one downside that a lot of gamers don't like is that in order to get the continuity between like Xbox and Windows, you have to buy from the Windows Store rather than buying it through Steam.
But you know what, though? If that means that I'm playing it on multiple systems, I can even set my other Xbox, like my friend's Xbox is my home box. No, I get that. And I'm being that. I'm just saying, like, I get what you're saying. The Windows Store is not the most fun place to shop. But what proprietary app store is fun? Or, there are... Disclaimer, there are restrictions in which me and Dan can talk about certain companies. We will not talk about those companies, even if asked to. We're sorry. Yeah. But there are certain app stores out there that are great experiences.
They get it right.
They get it right, or or there's nobody else doing it better, so we don't know what's better or not.
True.
And I think in this instance, we know that the Windows Store needs some work comparatively to the Steam Store.
Yeah, definitely.
But what I appreciate, though, is that Steam Store... Or what I appreciate about the Windows Store is it follows me and my Steam Store stays stagnant. I can't log into my Steam somewhere else on a different kind of system that's not a PC and have that collection come with me. But I can sign into an Xbox, an Xbox One X, an Xbox One X, or a PC, and that library comes with me. And so I think that's really important to me. And it's one of the biggest reasons I'm invested in the Xbox ecosystem. I am an Xbox fanboy. I represent that proudly, but they respect me as a consumer in a general sense. Every company makes mistakes. But Xbox, in my opinion, has made the least amount of mistakes that affect my personal gaming preferences.
Yeah,
that's not to mean that they've never burned you, but they've never burned me like that.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. You and I, we pretty much own every console,
right? You don't own a Switch.
I'll own a Switch eventually.
I'm
waiting. I'm just waiting for whenever they
waiting on the games.
I want Smash Bros. Yeah, I want Smash Bros. And I want Pokken Tournament on the Switch.
Pokken Tournament's coming.
Well, when it's there, that's when I'll get it.
Yeah, but like Splatoon 2, that's my big one.
Like you were saying, like just this whole thing as a whole. Like I feel like Microsoft is finally getting their footing. They're finally getting it down to exactly what they want to do as their brand. And I think honestly, I think this is the best thing that could happen for gamers. I mean, look at Sony beating Microsoft into the ground with the console war was the best thing that could happen to Microsoft. Because they removed their heads from their asses, and they're like, hey, we can't just throw everyone out there and people will buy it.
Right.
There's people, like, our actions have consequences. And we lost so many gamers because we let Don Matrick go up there on stage and piss off everyone. He's so smug about it, too. That's what gets me.
He's a smug, more a-hole version looking guy than anybody they could. I mean, I would have rather like Bill Gates just like be like, I just want your money on that. I would have rather like
being honest, like, you know,
it's not this.
Look,
it's not this
money.
disrespectful
Like,
tone. It's just like, hey, this is a good console. Give me your money.
Yeah,
great things are coming.
Like,
I would have respected
Bill Gates
that.
Came on the stage though. I would have thrown money at the screen anyways. Because when's the last time we've seen him at an E3?
No, I mean,
back
like,
when they launched
the man
Xbox.
does humanitarian work. He doesn't need to bother. He has more money.
Bill Gates,
than
we're watching. We love you.
We love you, but we're a humanitarian.
Send us free stuff. No, I'm just kidding.
Skip bags.
Microsoft, send me free stuff. Stuff shows up in like at your doorstep for us.
Woo! How they know where I live? Oh yeah, Windows 10 privacy.
They find me too. Like they're just like, we found you, man. We did facial recognition.
A helicopter lands in front of your house. Like Bill Gates steps out.
Briefcase. He's like,
here you go. Here's the Xbox One. Oh my gosh. All right.
Let's get a review copy to try it out. Oh my god, I'd love it.
NDA though.
NDA. You can't talk about it. Okay, so I can't review it then.
Yeah. All right.
Personal review. No one else can see it. Anyone who comes over, sign this form.
We're good.
That way, if they break it, I'm okay. They broke the NDA when they walked in the door. Got them.
Why did you walk in the door?
Yeah, right.
It's like,